that your Bobcat leaders arrive on time and they meet you at the stadium there, because kids are going to start rolling in really quick. They kind of come in from all different directions. We have parking lot over here, there's a small parking lot over there. People walk in from that direction, so really important that your Bobcat leaders arrive on time, and then as soon as 5:45 hits, you're kind of gathering all the Bobcat athletes up into the stadium. So we are at the top of the stadium now. So this is where we assemble all of the Bobcat athletes at the beginning of every session. So you kind of get your whistle out with the help of the other leaders. You're going to call everyone in up to the top here and then get them to sit in their grades. So we kind of, grade 3s at the bottom all the way up to grade 8s at the top. And this is where you're going to introduce the session. So making sure people have water, they're prepared for the weather, and introduce your Bobcat leaders. You can include any reminders of any theme days coming up, any sort of concerns around weather, etc. You kind of address all of that at the beginning of the session, and then you kind of send everyone off to start their practice. So I find if it does start to rain or you need to collect everyone, you can go underneath the tunnel here. So it's a good space to collect everyone if the weather does go a little bit wonky. But yeah, this is kind of your home base at the beginning of every session. Okay, so this is a perfect example of when you first arrive to the track to kind of scope out your location to make sure that there's no hazards or anything. So we just came across one of these garbage cans that have been, what I would assume is that a bear got into it. So you'll see lots of garbage here. So this would be a flag for me. I would make sure that no kids are kind of roaming around this area. I would also take it as a note that perhaps there's a bear in the area, so maybe just do a quick walk around the track or kind of in these trails here. See if you know anything, if there's anyone around, ask them if they've seen any bears. So I would report this so you can let Laurentian security know, or at the end of practice just let the head coach of Track North know, Dick Moss, just so it does get cleaned up. The city, someone will need to kind of manage the situation and get it cleaned up. Okay, so another safety item, obviously we've mentioned, hazardous like waste, any sort of bears in the area. The other thing is just monitoring kind of who's around the track. Obviously you're gonna have about 100 kids, maybe more, at the track. So it's just really important that you're monitoring who's around, if anyone's causing any issues. Just keep an eye on who's out there. It's gonna be mostly parents watching their child, but it's just really important to keep an eye. As Bobcat coordinator, you do not need to take on a group. You're meant to be there to help support other leaders and kind of roam the area throughout the session, chat with parents, and handle any sort of behavior issues. So that's kind of your role. You don't need to take on a group on your own. So yeah, just another thing to be mindful of when you're here at the track. Okay, so this is just a really quick video on behavior. You are going to deal with a bunch of different scenarios with kids not getting along with you, not getting along with other Bobcat athletes, not wanting to be here, things like that. So really important that at first you let your leader manage the situation. So you don't need to take everything on yourself. Have the leader take responsibility and try and sort out the issue at first. If it comes to persistently they're not improving, they're causing bigger issues within the group, that's where you can step in, kind of take the athlete somewhere on their own, quiet, and just have a small discussion with them, see what's bothering them, etc. You don't need to get angry, you don't need to yell, just really have a conversation with them and see what the issues are, and then hopefully find ways, in agreement with them, how they can improve, and then you can send them back to their group. If behavior persists, really important to chat with the parent, and then at the next session make sure that they to follow up with them or just monitor that they're not causing any more issues. So again, there's no one answer fits all. It's really just kind of taking the athlete aside and trying to figure out what's going on, and being open-minded and just being gentle and respectful.